calculator.
Oh yeah, well, can you hear me?
I hear you. Are you a Muslim?
I'm not. I'm an ex-Muslim though.
All right.
Since,
But why you left Islam, my friend? What's wrong?
I was never really Muslim like that,
But isn't it
but
is
I
but
started.
isn't it Islam is so beautiful?
Yeah, my dad used to tell me stories when I was younger about how like he just gave me Torah stories essentially, saying how people used to live till 900, and there was like I don't know, just random stories. But I never really believed it. I just read the Quran whenever I needed to, prayed whenever I needed to. I never really believed it though.
So why you decide to leave Islam?
I was thinking about Jesus Christ because I don't know. I just thought about Jesus Christ one day, and I was thinking like, this guy. I never looked into this guy. I looked into Islam, Buddhism. I was atheist for a really long time, but I looked into Jesus Christ, and I don't know. I started. It was very touching to say the least.
Well, happy for you, my friend. Anything you want to say to
Yeah.
us?
Yeah. I was gonna ask you a question. Where is the hadith about what the women will do in heaven? I've been looking for that for so long. I have all the other hadiths tracked down to like
What
argue
women will
against
do in
Muslims.
heaven? Well, there's tons. I
Yeah,
mean, there's endless numbers. So if you want like reference, you can get my book, Sex and Allah. It's two books, and there's endless. This is the whole topic is about women and men, what they will do in heaven. You know?
and one more thing before I leave, real quick.
Yeah.
There was a specific hadith. I don't know if you'll know the number. I wouldn't expect you to, but it was about how women will like suck dick all. Can I say that
We don't want
or
to
no?
use that.
They'll, yeah, my bad. They would just like suck and do the boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
That's all they'll do. I remember you talking about it specifically. I was looking for it and I couldn't find it.
The hadith doesn't mention details in description. You mention it, but this is what the women are in heaven to do for to their job is to satisfy the man sexually and whatever that mean. However,
Yeah,
I think you are referring for a video was mentioned by a sheikh. He was explaining a hadith about what the Virgin will do to you when you go to heaven. They will start sucking you. They will be fighting over sucking. Yeah. So yeah, actually, maybe I can give you the link.
okay.
I will try to find it for you so you can watch it. But I think it's in Arabic, so I don't know. You know Arabic?
No, unfortunately, I know
Oh,
Turkish. I'm Turkish.
oh, okay. Uh,
Yeah.
all right. We will
But I
see.
was
Uh-huh.
okay. There was a YouTube channel on YouTube. I thought it was you the whole time. It's called Islam Education. I was like, yeah, this guy's going crazy or whatever. And I thought it was you, but you have your own YouTube channel called Christian Prince. And I was listening to Islam Education's video, which is essentially you. And you were talking about how it's not the Houris, because the Houris are like they're not the women from Earth, right? They're like their own creation for the men in heaven in Islam, correct?
Mm-hmm. They are
Yeah, and the women on
supposedly
Earth.
supposedly they are human too, but they are just made for sex.
Yeah, but the 72 Houris are not 72 women on Earth who were born on Earth and lived
No,
on
no,
Earth and
no.
then
Those
died on
are
Earth. They're
those
like,
are 72 is not an accurate number. 72 is the lowest reward for a Muslim, which means this is the bad Muslim, not the one who is a very decent believer. The one who is the
I thought
lowest.
it was the.
Yeah, 72 is the
I thought
lowest.
it was,
The higher you go, the heaven of Allah have 100 a floor, and the higher you go in the floors, because let us say you are Osama bin Laden, or you did kill many Christians or Jews, etc., or Hindus, that will make you go up in the floor, and that will increase your, the number of women you will sleep with. However, the 72,
yeah,
the 72 women, each woman, she have 7 maids, and every maid have 7 assistant, and every 7 assistant, each one of them, she have other 7 helper. All of those, they will sleep with the man. So if you calculate the numbers, you will end with thousands, even for the lowest.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That sounds ridiculous.
And there is tons of
is there any
videos.
further? Is there any hadith on specifically like the women on earth, like this is what you will be doing, not like the hori or whatever, that you can remember? Anyways, if you can, it's fine.
Well, there
I'll
is
just I'll just
there
read
is
your
many
book.
hadith, but you know the Quran or the hadith don't favor the women on earth. It favor the women in heaven because they are way more pretty. And like now, when a Muslim woman she make her husband angry, the whore in heaven, she will shout at her, even though she cannot hear her. She will shout at her, and she says, "Why you are hurting him? He is just passing by." All right. So the women in the heaven, the whore, the one Allah made, they are way more quality to satisfy the need of the Muslim man. The women in the earth, they are not quality at all compared to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
And
can share
by the way, if
some.
there's like a Muslim who wants to get on, my
Yeah.
bad. If there's a Muslim on that wants to get on the stage, you can kick me off whenever. I don't really care.
No problem.
But I also have one. Because I was arguing with an imam. I was arguing with an imam, right, with my mom and her friend, and she's like, she wants to leave Islam. She knows it's whack, but she just doesn't have any proof. So I was arguing with the imam, and I brought up the topic of Aisha, and he said that she wasn't really 8 or 7 or whatever the age is in the hadiths. The reason why he said that is because the age was counted after somebody hit puberty. Why? Like, how do you even argue against that?
Well,
This
this
stupid.
is
No,
false. This is false. Do they say that their prophet, he was 40 years when he became a prophet? Did they count that after puberty? I mean, since
Thank
when?
you.
I never heard of somebody that his age start whatever the woman, she never have a such a thing. She is still 1 day old.
Yeah, no, I know it's ridiculous.
No, this is false.
So I asked him, I'm like, oh, how old was Muhammad? Yeah, and they just go, oh, well, Muhammad was whatever years old he was. So
yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Those who make those arguments is just trying to duct tape Muhammad. And Aisha, she said, I was 6 years old when I married Muhammad. So if this is true, that means Aisha, she married Muhammad after she have her puberty, as he said. But we have hadith saying that Aisha, she was playing with her toys when she was 14, and yet she didn't have her puberty yet. And this is more than 8 years after marrying to Muhammad. Plus, why a wife, she is playing with her toys if she is reaching the puberty? Plus, when Aisha and all the companion, they say she was 6, you need to ask the person, where do you get this from, that women, they count their age after the time of a puberty. That is very, always when somebody says something to you, you have to get him busted and tell him, can you give me a reference? How you learn this idea that after they received or they get the age of a puberty, we count their age. Where do you get this from? Can you show me a reference? And you will see then he have nothing to say. Yeah.
Random sheikh from Pakistan.
Well, no, this is
just
not
like a random person.
No, he knew his line, He knew, like, this guy.
No, his response.
Yeah.
There's like a delay, so I don't want to cut you off, but like,
it's all right.
He said that, oh no, there's like scholars in the Muslim world who say that this is how age was recorded back in Islam.
No problem. Give us, because even the scholars, they have to get into that through reference. Like now, If I want to say to you, I'm a scholar, let us say I'm a scholar in the Bible, but you need to say it. Okay, I say to you such a thing. You will say to me, can you show me where it says that in the Bible? So if I am a scholar, I have to back up what I say. This is what scholar mean. Scholar is someone have
Yeah.
knowledge, and his knowledge is something he learned about his religion. So where you learn this in your religion, this is a fabrication. And as you see, nowhere we find what they are claiming. All the hadith says it clearly that Muhammad, he did marry her at the age of 6, and he did full intercourse at the age of 9. At 6, he was fondling her, molesting her. At the age of 9, he did have intercourse. The mother of Aisha, uh, in the hadith, it says that she had to feed her. I don't know if you can see my screen. I will try to find the hadith.
Cucumbers and dates. I know that one. So she can
Exactly.
get plump for Muhammad,
Yeah.
which
So
is just so filthy.
if Muhammad,
Yes.
if the girl she was really in the age of a puberty, how come she is so skinny and so small? And then the mother of Aisha, she had to feed her like a goat in order to be, ready for boom boom. So it's a very
Okay.
false argument Muslims they come with.
Okay. I got a weird question to ask you that ties in with this. Do you think Muhammad was just a really like socially smart? Because he when I mean socially smart, I don't mean that he's like a smart person, but he convinced everyone around him that he was like God's chosen prophet or whatever. Do you think he had an actual interaction with a demon, or was
No,
he
I don't.
just making everything up?
I believe Muhammad did not convince anyone, and we have a proof of that. As an example, Aisha, she said to Muhammad, "You who claim to be a messenger of Allah," and then other place she said, "I see that your God he rushed into your desire, Muhammad." She meant sexual desire. Umar al-Khattab, he said, "قد هجر الرسول," which means Muhammad he lost his mind. He's mentally ill. And he was commanding Muhammad to do things. And we know we have reference from Muslims themselves saying that only 70 people, most of them they are his slaves, they believe in Muhammad, which means the white men and their slaves. The slaves they don't count because they force them, they follow always the religion of the master, so they don't have their own choice. So Muhammad he spent long time, he could not convince even 70, and most of them they are even slaves who have no choice to believe or not. If we check who are those who migrate with Muhammad from the free men and women, we will find that they are very, very few. And the reason for that wasn't really because Muhammad was convincing. As an example, Omar and Abu Bakr, they side with Muhammad because they have a marriage relationship with him. So they have no choice but to join Muhammad. Ali is the same. He married the daughter of Muhammad. So it was a family business more than it was a convincing. Muhammad is a big stupid idiot. He could not convince anyone. In fact, there's a hadith says, Muhammad said, if 10 of the Jews convert to Islam, only 10, the rest of the Muslims will convert. So he failed even to convert 10 Jews. 10.
Can you give me the reference to that if you don't mind? If
Yeah.
you have it, if you don't, it's fine.
Yeah, it's a screen. And the Muslims, they lie in the translation. They say among their chiefs. That's false. What chiefs? They don't have 10 chiefs. They have one chief. Same. So it says had only 10 Jews. Nowhere it says chiefs. Accepted Islam, the rest will convert. But he could not even make 10 Jews. But later, when Muhammad he conquered the Jews, he forced many Jews to say Shahada or die. So Muhammad never he just a stupid fool, and we can prove that easy. He could not convince anybody. This is why you see in the Quran, the Arab they kept making fun of the Quran, saying this is nothing but a silly fairy tale. So if Muhammad was convincing, and the Quran was amazing as the Muslim they claim, all those verses is the Arab making fun of the Quran. So he could not convince them by the word of God. How he can convince them by the word of him?
Right.
Yeah. We have a,
Do you,
a session. Are you a Muslim session? Session. Are you a Muslim? Session. Are you a Muslim? I don't know. He muted himself. We hope he will be back. So yeah. So as I say, Muhammad, he could not convince anybody, and the Arab. You know, this is one of the funny things. The Muslim, they lie. They say that the Quran was amazing. Well, if it was amazing, why the Arab in the time of Muhammad, they laugh at it? All those verses, you can
yeah.
check them one by one.
Do you believe that he actually had like a demonic encounter in that cave though?
I don't
When he
know
was,
really. I wasn't. I mean, you know, what I know that Muhammad for sure suffering from mental illness. There's no question about that. Let us say he is a fool who became successful in the best scenario.
yes.
Yeah.
I
And
believe he was successful though with what he
no,
wanted to do.
he was successful to spread his people to believe in him at the end of the day. But
Yeah.
he was not successful in his lifetime because simply he died horribly. People hated him. He forced people to convert to Islam, and you can imagine how many people were cursing him every day in their heart, even though they don't dare to say it by their mouth because he is a very filthy man. So, like the same as I say, well, a terrorist, he is successful to kill, but he is not successful to make people love him.
And because I argue with Muslims, and some of the proofs that they give me that the Quran is like a miracle or whatever, they bring up scientific proofs that the Quran predicted that the Big Bang essentially, and that Earth has like a rotation, or that everything rotates around back in like 632. And do you understand what I'm saying? I might not be making that much sense, but
Yeah, but
that
you know, the fact is, when the Muslim they mention those things, you can go and read it, and you will see that the Quran is making a stupid statement. If the Muslim believe in the Big Bang is a theory, is not a fact. Number one. Number two, this is the verse they show, chapter 21, verse number 30, and it says here, "Don't the disbelievers see? Don't they see?" Like the translation here says, "Haven't those who disbelieve known?" So it is something they knew. In fact, in Arabic it says they see. So he's not talking about Big Bang, he's talking about something we know and something we saw already. So don't the disbeliever knew that the earth and the heaven they used to be one and we separated them? This is because Muhammad is a stupid fool. He claimed that the earth was with the sky connected, and then Allah he raised up the sky. This is why you will see the Quran saying the following, that the sky become a roof, and this roof Allah he lifted up.
it's ridiculous. There was one though in the Quran. It was
If you
how
here
like
see,
space expands.
if you see here,
I
the roof,
yeah, I'm driving. My bad. I'm driving. I can't see anything.
okay. Well, you should be careful, my friend. All right.
I'm good. I'm good.
All right. Any claim the Muslim they claim about miracles and about etc. All we have the books, their books, which is going to prove them to be false, and their statement is false. So according to the Quran, Allah he made the sky a roof, and then the Muslim they will make an article saying, "See, this is talking about the
Space or
atmosphere,
something.
the atmosphere."
Yeah.
You know, no, it is the sky who is protected, not the earth. So nobody can go to the sky. It's not the opposite. So as an example, the Quran make it clear that nobody can go up to
Yeah,
the
I know that
sky.
yeah, they can't leave Earth's atmosphere, and if they try to, Allah will like burn them or something, right?
Exactly. Allah will shoot them, you know. And this
Yeah,
is
but
again,
I was watching that video of the argument you had with somebody about that verse. In that verse, it does say if Allah allows them. So their excuse will be like, oh,
No,
Allah
no,
allowed us.
no,
That's why we
no,
left
no,
Afghanistan.
no, no. It doesn't say that. The verse is speaking about you cannot go without authority. And the verse
Yeah,
is so
yes.
clear, he is challenging them. It's so clear. Allah is challenging them. It says you have no power. And if you try, because how we know that he is challenging them and they cannot, he will shoot them in the verse after it. Right?
Yeah, yeah. But it does say
Allah
authority without my authority. So
would
the Muslims will argue that Allah gave them the authority to
no,
leave.
no, because Allah will shoot them, the one who have authority, only angels and prophets.
Ah, okay, that's
Yeah.
what it says in there.
And the verse is so clear. You cannot go without my approval, and try, and you will see I will send against you both heat and fire and brass. So the verse is so clear that if you try, and you will not escape. It's so clear, and you will not escape. But Muhammad, he never thought that, you know, time will come and a human being will be able to go to the space.
There's another thing involving space. It was saying that like during the end times, the moon and the sun will collapse into one another. That just doesn't make any sense, even if it was true, because it wouldn't do anything.
You know, it's not about what makes sense or what makes sense, because, you know, if God decides to do so, that will happen. Why not? But Muhammad, all his prophecies about anything, including astronomy, proven to be stupid and false and funny. And that's why we are waiting for any Muslim to come and join us and give us any of his prophecy so we can see and check them out, you know?
They're too scared to debate you, man. They're too scared.
Well,
You're too good at this.
you know, I'm not, you know, I'm using their books. They have to debunk their books, not me. That's why they don't want to debate, because they argue with someone who do not know. But if you show them from their books that what they are saying is false, like here, what kind of God he says such a thing that you cannot go, and why? You know what the challenge is about. You know, oh, a company of jinn and men, if you have power to penetrate all regions of the heaven and the earth. First of all, the Quran teaching us false information about where we are. We are in fact in heaven right now, because what the heaven here in the Arabic, it doesn't say the word heaven, it says samawat. Samawat means sky, and the earth is just a dust in the sky. We are in the sky. We are like a big spaceship in the sky, correct?
I guess. Yeah.
So if somebody want to say to me, you know, go to the sky, what sky? We are in the sky. So if Allah is speaking of science, his science is funny and silly. And then when the Quran says that the sky became a roof, protected roof, and nobody can pass into that roof, and then we find in the same stupid Quran that genies, they even steal information and spy at Allah. How you made it clear that if somebody try to you know, to go to the heaven, you will shoot him, and then we will find that there is genies or shaitan, they go to heaven and they steal information, and they hear the command of Allah and they tell it to the fortune teller. So Muhammad here is trying to fabricate another story, claiming that fortune teller, they have a true information. And how they get it? They got it from a genie shaitan who go to the space, he spy at Allah, he read Allah giving command for the future, he listen to it, he come back to the fortune teller, he tell him what will happen tomorrow, and this is how the fortune teller, they knew what will happen to you. But all of us, we know that fortune teller, they are not fortunate unless there is a fool coming and pay them some money. You know?
Or Satan. I honestly believe that there's some demonic thing happened to this guy, man. Seriously.
Yeah, no problem. But, you know, I'm talking about fortune teller. You know, like
Yeah.
I saw them in many countries, they make good business. But a fortune teller, if he really can tell the fortune, the future, I mean, go and buy a lotto ticket, you will get rich tomorrow. You know, as long as you know the future, you do not need to sit in a place and they give you $2 to tell them read their hand. Just go buy the
Yeah.
ticket. You know what will happen tomorrow. Buy the number you like and get rich, and that's it. Buy the ticket every day. You know. So fortune teller, they are not really fortune teller unless there is a stupid person who is looking for someone to scam him, and those people exist everywhere. Yeah.
And I have one more question. That because every time I argue with a Muslim, they're like, the Bible is corrupt and the Torah is corrupt. What I'm confused with is what Injil or Bible or Torah was Muhammad holding and praying to?
Well,
They
this
can't answer that.
this section have many options to this is actually, I call it self-defeat, because when the Muslim they say the Torah and the Injil is corrupted, in fact he is throwing rocks at his God, because the Quran claims that Allah is the one who sent down the Torah. Then,
Yeah.
if Allah is the one who sent the Torah, it is the duty of whom to protect the book of God? It's God. So what the
Yeah.
Muslim they are saying to us, that they have a God, his name is Allah, he sent books but he could not protect it. So how in the world that is something against me? This is against you, because you just told me that your God, he sent 124,000 messenger, each one of them have a book, and then Allah, he was able to rescue one book. And then we check the Quran, we will find that thousands of verses are missing. In fact, the thumbnail of my videos in YouTube and Ramble is about a Muslim sheikh. He is making fun of the Quran they have today, and he is saying the Quran we have is incomplete. And what we have inside, most of it is garbage, is not really Quran. So if we check the facts, we will find that the Quran, according to Muslims, there is a holes in the narrative, Sunni and Shia. So both of them, they agree that the Quran is a fraud. And for me, I don't try to prove the Quran to be corrupted, because that will be silly of me to do so. Because you cannot, there's no point of proving a fraud to be corrupt. I mean, if Muhammad is a fraud, I will say the Quran is corrupt. What does that mean? I mean, the Prophet himself is a fraud. So I don't go in that direction. However, if a Muslim wanna go in that direction, we can debunk his statement very easy. The Quran says, as an example, that corruption of the book is a change in the location of the word.
Change in the location.
Of
What
the
you said
words.
it like
Huh?
of the words.
Yeah. Like in chapter 4, verse number 46, and chapter 5, verse number 13, and chapter 5, verse number 41, all of them, they are saying, it's saying that the corruption is by changing the location of the words. So if you change the location of the words, you are corrupting the book. And if you go and read the story behind it, you will find that a Jew, he put his finger over a verse. He did not change the Torah. He just covered a statement about stoning to death. That was the verse here, speaking about changing the location of verses. But you notice that all the Quran and all the Muslims agree that the Quran, all of it, is nothing but a process of a changing location of verses. As an example, the Muslim, they claim that the first chapter Muhammad he received is where the angel told him to read. And that chapter now in the Quran is all the way at the end. It is a chapter 96. So if this is the first chapter Muhammad he received, and he did not give him a chapter, by the way. I mean, those Muslims, they gave them names, they make them chapter, trying to make a book like the Bible. Otherwise, the Quran never have verse number and chapter number. This is always a joke. But
It's
when
not
they,
even chronological order.
no,
Like
never exists.
it doesn't even.
There's no verse number and chapter number. This is false. But when they try to make a book, they try to make it look like the Bible, because the Bible is very much organized in details.
Yeah.
So you can find something in 2 seconds. So the Quran was trying to make a copy like the Bible, but even that failed, because look, this is a chapter 96. According to Muslim, this is chapter number 1. Who is the one who gave you the authority to change the location of the words of Allah? If Allah gave it to you as a first chapter, then it should be in page number 1 in the
Chapter
Quran.
1.
Exactly.
I see.
Yeah. But But as you see, it's chapter number 96. So all those things, you know, and even the story here, if you read it, you will see how silly and how stupid. Like suddenly a man, he came to Muhammad, he said to him, read. Muslim, they say Muhammad did not know how to read. So what the point of this stupid conversation? What we learn from it? Did Allah make Muhammad able to read as a miracle? Like they say, he said to him, read. Muhammad did not know how to read. Allah told him, read. So Muhammad ended reading? No, still he cannot
Yeah,
read. So the whole
Allah would know
conversation,
that he can't.
yeah, the whole conversation is stupid. And then it says here, Allah, he created the man from a clot, which is stupid because who in the world want to believe that a human being is created from a clot? Dead blood. That is stupid.
Yeah,
And the second mistake,
they say that's a leech.
Allah, he taught everything by the pen, but Muhammad himself do not know how to write, how to read. I mean, how he taught you by the pen? Allah, he taught you by the pen. And then the one you are talking to, you do not know how to use the pen, and he do not know how to read, isn't even his name? So how
I
it
should have had a resume open for people.
no, this is stupid. I
Pick
mean,
the worst guy.
if I say to you, Allah taught by the pen, that's mean Allah is speaking about how he is teaching people. But the prophet he is talking to, he do not know how to use the pen, neither he can read his name. So how he taught us by the pen? So the whole story is just stupid. So by the pen, and he taught the man what he do not know. And then if we check the Quran, we will find Allah, he taught us that the sperm became a dead blood clot, and then the blood became a lump, and the lump became bones, you know, and then the bones
Yeah.
at the end covered by the flesh. Is that how what God he taught us in Islam? Yes, but this is silly. Or the
In
women
that
should have
verse, oh my bad.
it's all right.
That verse 23:14. Oh, when I translate the Arabic from like I use Google Translate, it says leech. I know that's not what it actually means, but can you clarify that?
Well, this is a false translation. Like, you know, they made a conference. They brought a guy from Canada, his name Dr. Morse, and they gave him a good check, and they gave him false translation of the Quran. And then they start spreading what Dr. Morse he said. He says, I'm amazed that the Quran is speaking about that, like when the egg attached to the womb will become like a leech. But this is a false translation. Nowhere it says like a leech. It says like a clot. And all what you need to do is just to change the translator, and then you will find how the Muslims they lie. We will not use even a Christian translation. Actually, this website does not have any Christian translation. All is Muslim translation. You will see that the translation is so clear. And I will show you the most terrorist translation, Hilali Khan from Pakistan. It says, and we made the nutfa into a clot between bracket, a piece of thick coagulated blood, as you see. So where is the leech they are talking about? This is a dead leech, yes, as a blood, dead blood, but not
What's
like
the
a
word?
leech.
What's
Alaqa,
the Arabic? Can you say it?
alaqa,
Ala.
alaqa.
Yeah. So they'd say the Muslims I'd argue with. They're like alaka means there's three definitions for it. One of them is like blood clot, another's just like a clot, and then they say the third definition of that word is leech, and they just go with
Well,
leech every time.
we can prove if this is what it's mean or not from the hadith. So I can go right now, and you will see Muhammad again making poo-poo. Dr. Muhammad, suddenly Muhammad became astronomer, doctor, he knows everything. So Muhammad, he made it so clear by what he meant by alaqa. First of all, Muhammad, he claimed the stages of how the baby is made. And if you read all those stages, you will see proving that Muhammad is a fraud. So according to Muhammad, as an example, in the stages, the dead blood will become, the semen will become dead blood, and then the dead blood will become a lump, and then the lump became a bone, and then the last thing Allah decide if it's going to be male or female. And that alone is enough to prove that Muhammad is a fraud. And this is another example. This is a Sahih hadith. Muhammad claimed that this is the process of creating the baby, as you see. So he said a drop of semen remain in the womb for 40 or 45 nights. And then the angel come, and the process of creation will start. This is alone, again, prove Muhammad to be fraud, because semen, we do not need to collect semen. Only one will activate the egg. And no, woman is not collecting semen. And the semen can live maximum of 5 days, not 45 days.
And the verse doesn't even mention the egg or it becoming a zygote or anything like that.
Yeah, it says the
It just goes
semen,
from sperm to
the
blood.
semen, as you see, a drop of a discharge, i.e. a semen, O Lord, a clot, O Lord, a piece of a flesh. So according to Muhammad, the semen itself become a clot. The clot became a piece of a flesh. And then at the end, Allah decide if it's going to be male and female. Well, in fact, we know by science today that the semen itself will decide right away if the baby will be male or female. It's not the last thing. It is something already determined from the beginning. So all those explaining by Muhammad, proving Muhammad to be a false man.
And how do you say this word? Is it mufakafta? How do you say it properly? I think you know what I'm talking about.
Which one?
Mufakafta or whatever. It's like I don't want to be too vulgar, but before the girl is able to
Mufakhada.
mufakata, yeah.
Yeah,
where is that written anywhere?
Fandal.
Yeah, fondle.
Yeah. Well, Aisha, she was, in the house of Muhammad. And this word is used many times. Even if Aisha, after she have her period, Muhammad, he used to do that. So the hadith says, as an example.
And could you give me the book that it's from and the number just this one time, if you don't mind? Because I want to show people when I'm arguing with them that like this mufakafta thing is actually
Aisha, she said, Allah would fondle me while I was fasting, and he had the most control among you of his limb. His limb is talking about his penis. So here you see how funny and how silly it is. This statement here, how somebody is fasting and he is so good in controlling himself. I mean, if you are controlling yourself, you absence from doing it. I mean, it's just a few hours and you can do whatever you want in Islam. So how he is fasting and now he is putting his private part between her legs, and this is during the time of fasting,
Could you give me the number or the hadith to that, please?
This is Jami' al-Tirmidhi, hadith number 728. And this is Sahih.
What was the number again, real quick?
728 at-Tirmidhi.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Maybe we can get another Muslim. He's an ex-Muslim.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
I just got to school too. Hey, thank you, man. You're doing God's work. Truly, you're blessed, man.
Thank you.
You're a good guy.
Thank you.
And I don't know how to leave the state. Oh, there it is. Okay. Take it easy, Christian Prince. God bless you, man.
Take care.
You're a beautiful soul. Peace. Bye-bye. Love you.
Mari ikut Yesus. Mari ke jalan yang benar. Tuhan berkati.